Hello, police. I'm calling to report a tragedy that happened in Dallas on Sunday. Yes, yes, it is something really tragic that happened. Yeah, it was the Cowboys game. No, 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 don't hang up. No, no, no. Ah, damn it. Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. Anyways, let's get into NFL Week 6 recap. Let's go. To start off, we have the 49ers winning against the Seahawks on Thursday Night Football 36-24. Wow, San Francisco. Congrats on winning Thursday Night Football and somehow being first in the NFC West despite being 3-3. Meanwhile, for Seattle, after a 3-0 start, they have lost the last 3 games. That's actually not good. But I'm not ready to press the panic button on Seattle yet. I would give it the next 2 weeks, and if they lose those games, then I think it's time to panic. But there weren't any big plays. But the play that stood out from this game was Brock Purdy's bomb to Deebo Samuel for 76 yards to the house to go up 10-0 in the second quarter. Other than that, not much really happened in this game. So congrats, San Francisco, and good luck against the Chiefs when you face them in your Super Bowl rematch. Next up, we have the Bears destroying the Jaguars in London 35-16. Wow, Chicago, I didn't know you had it in you. And Caleb Williams, he played really well. 23 for 29, 226 yards, 4 touchdowns, and only 1 interception. Meanwhile, for receivers, Cole Kmet scored 2 touchdowns in the second quarter, and Keenan Allen scored a touchdown in the third and fourth quarter. Meanwhile, for the Jaguars, Gabe Davis did pretty good. He had a 21-yard pass from Trevor Lawrence to get a touchdown. And in garbage time, he also scored a 5-yard touchdown. And yeah, that's all I can say about this game. And if Jacksonville doesn't win their next game in London, it's honestly time to panic for Duval. But still, congratulations, Bears, on getting a huge win against Jacksonville. And yeah, Caleb Williams is doing really well. So, good job. Next up, we have the Buccaneers destroying the Saints 51-27. Wow, Bucks. You guys always surprise me with these type of performances. But honestly, this game was kind of competitive despite the final score. So, in the first quarter, Tampa Bay was up 17-0. And then New Orleans scored 27 points by starting in Spencer Rattler after Derek Carr got hurt. And Tampa Bay held New Orleans to nothing in the second half by scoring 27 unanswered points and win 51-27. Wow. That's amazing. Shout out to Baker Mayfield, who honestly had a decent night. 24 for 36, 325 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. I mean, 3 interceptions is honestly kind of preventing his performance from being absolutely amazing, but he still did really good. Meanwhile, for
Spencer Rattler, he honestly did pretty good despite he threw more interceptions than touchdowns. I mean, he had a monster second quarter, so I will give him credit though. Meanwhile, the biggest play of the game was Chris Godwin's 55-yard bomb from Baker Mayfield to give Tampa Bay back the lead 31-27. And also shout out to Sean Tucker for having an awesome game, who scored 2 touchdowns. And he had 14 carries for 136 yards and 1 TD. And Chris Godwin also did really well with 11 receptions, 125 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So yeah, New Orleans, good game. Next up, we have the Ravens winning against the Commanders 30-23. I honestly knew Baltimore was going to win. That's nothing against Washington, honestly. Like, I just felt like it was going to be close. And honestly, I was correct. Both teams did really well in this game. Jaden Daniels once again had a really good game. 24 for 35, 269, and 2 TDs. Meanwhile, Lamar Jackson, 20 for 26, 323 yards, 1 touchdown, and only 1 interception. Derrick Henry also had a really nice game for 24 carries for 132 yards and 2 TDs. And meanwhile, for Washington, Scary Terry did really well by scoring 2 touchdowns. And honestly, this guy just somehow keeps making amazing catches when he scores a touchdown. I don't know how he does it, but the guy can play. He really can. So yeah, congratulations Baltimore for getting a win. Next up, we have the Packers winning against the Cardinals 34-13. Green Bay, you guys are honestly doing pretty well. Honestly, I didn't watch this game, but once when Green Bay was up like 24-0, you know that Green Bay was definitely going to win this game. But the biggest takeaway of this game was Marvin Harrison Jr. leaving the game early because he suffered a concussion. And hopefully Arizona can get him back after he's done with protocol. And yeah, that's all I could say from this game. So great job, Packers, for getting a huge win against Arizona. Next up, we have the Colts barely winning against the Titans 20-17. I'm going to be honest, I didn't watch a single moment from this game. This game, I can honestly care less who wins or loses. But from what I see, Indianapolis made a huge comeback in the fourth quarter after being down 17-10. And after Matt Gay scored a 22-yard field goal and Michael Pittman Jr. scoring a 10-yard touchdown from Joe Flacco, Indianapolis basically won the game. And yeah, that's all I can say, honestly. And also, Anthony Richardson could come back maybe next week, but we'll see. So congrats to Indy for getting a win. And Tennessee, they might be in trouble, honestly. Next up, we have the Texans winning against the Patriots 41-21. Honestly, New England put up a good fight despite the final score indicate. Drake May had his first game starting, and his stats were honestly interesting. He led in rushing yards with 5 carries for 38 yards. Meanwhile, for passing yards, he was 20 for 33, 243 yards, 3 touchdowns, and only 2 interceptions. And honestly, he did really well after his nice touchdown pass to Demario Douglas for 35 yards. Meanwhile, the Texans, they unsurprisingly did well, as CJ Stroud had a nice night, who had 20 for 31, 192 yards, 3 touchdowns, and only 1 interception. And shout out to Joe Mixon for coming back after being injured, who had 13 carries for 102 yards and 1 TD. And yeah, that's all I can say. So congrats Houston on starting 5-1, and New England, you guys should rack up some wins, because you guys are 1-5 right now. I mean, seriously. Next up, we have the Eagles barely winning against the Cleveland Browns 20-16. Philly, how do you guys barely win against Deshaun Watson? Because, like I said many times, he is garbage! And honestly, the biggest moment of this game was Nick Sirianni yelling at Eagles fans, which honestly is no surprise considering that Nick Sirianni, he's one classy guy, let me tell you. But honestly, Philadelphia honestly did really well despite the final score indicate. Jalen Hurts was good, but not great. 16 for 25, 264 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Meanwhile, A.J. Brown had a touchdown, and Devontae Smith had a touchdown. And both of them were in this game. And I believe one of them were injured, and they came back, but honestly, the biggest highlight of this game was Rodney McLeod Jr., who had a 50-yard blocked field goal return to tie the game at 10 in the second quarter, with 14 seconds left. So shout out to Rodney for that monster play. So yeah, congratulations Philly and Cleveland. So start another quarterback, please. Like put in Jameis Winston out there, please. At least he'll play better than your starting quarterback. Like seriously, do it. Next up, we have the Chargers winning against the Broncos 23-16. Honestly, I didn't watch a single moment from this game because I knew Los Angeles was going to win. But yeah, this game was honestly interesting. Because as you can clearly tell, Los Angeles was up 23-0, and Denver didn't score anything until the fourth quarter, when Troy Franklin had a 2-yard touchdown and Cortland Sutton had a 15-yard touchdown from Bo Nix, but the 2-point conversion was no good. And Will Lutz had a 40-yard field goal with 59 seconds left. They tried to recover the onside kick, but it failed. Surprise, surprise. And yeah, that's all I can say about this game. So congrats, LA, for getting a win against Denver. Next up, we have the Steelers crushing the Raiders 32-13. Like I said for the last game, I didn't watch a single moment from this game because I knew Pittsburgh was going to win against Las Vegas. Because, if you haven't noticed, they were not starting Devontae Adams because he wants to get the hell away from Las Vegas. Because, honestly, can you blame him? Because he was supposed to be there to be with his buddy Derek Carr. But Derek Carr got traded and he was stuck in Las Vegas. And now he's probably going to go to the Jets now. And yeah, I would do the same thing because it's just wrong to be stuck in Las Vegas while your friend gets traded. But anyways, as for the game itself, Pittsburgh won, no surprise. And the biggest play was Najee Harris's 36-yard run to go up 22-7. And meanwhile, Aiden O'Connell, he was meh at best in this game. 27 for 40, 227 yards, 1 TD, and 1 INT. And shout out to Brock Bowers for honestly having a pretty solid game. Meanwhile, Justin Fields, he surprisingly didn't throw for a touchdown pass despite Pittsburgh scored 32 points. But hey, win's a win, I guess. So congrats, Pittsburgh, for winning another game and starting off 4-2 and is probably going to finish with a winning record like they have been doing since, well, forever, honestly. Next up, we have Atlanta winning against Carolina 38-20. Honestly, who didn't see this game coming? Atlanta clearly won against a terrible Panthers squad. And they did it in dominating fashion, honestly. But Carolina honestly put up a good fight, honestly. Because Andy Dalton's stats were somewhat respectable. 26 for 38, 221 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. But meanwhile, for the Falcons, Kirk Cousins did his job well. Bijan Robinson had 2 touchdowns, and Younghoe Koo had not 1, not 2, but 3 field goals in the second half. And Atlanta needed all of it to really win the game, honestly. So yeah, congratulations, Atlanta, for winning against Carolina. Which isn't a really impressive win, but hey, win's a win, I suppose. Next up, we have the Lions destroying the Cowboys. I'm sorry. Dallas, you guys didn't even score a single touchdown, and you guys lost on Jerry Jones's birthday. But yeah, Detroit got their revenge on Dallas after last year. Dallas won against Detroit with some controversy on the 2-point conversion. And Detroit made sure they got their revenge on Dallas, and they did. And the biggest takeaway of the game was Aiden Hutchinson getting injured, and honestly, I'm wishing him a full recovery from that injury because that is tough. But still, congratulations to the Lions for having another big win this season. And as for Dallas, they're screwed, honestly, because their next game is against the 49ers after their bye week, which is next week, and they gotta put up a better fight than they did in this game. How about them Cowboys? Am I right? How about them Cowboys? Next up, we have the Bengals winning against the Giants on Sunday Night Football, 17-7. As a Bengals fan, I'm happy we won, but honestly, am I happy about the win? Not really. I felt like we could have done better and could have scored more points, but hey, win's a win. And also, the big play of this game was Joe Burrow's 47-yard run. Yeah, that's right. Joe Burrow can do more than just throw a ball accurately. And meanwhile, for the Giants, they did pretty much nothing outside of the third quarter when they scored off a Tyrone Tracy Jr. rushing TD, which tied the game at 7 in the third. And Chase Brown scored a 30-yard run to put the nails in the coffin to win at MetLife Stadium. So yeah, good job for Cincy for getting a win, and yeah, that's all I can say. And finally, we have the Bills winning against the Jets on Monday Night Football, 23-20. Wow, this game was honestly really entertaining, honestly. It was back and forth the entire way through. And the biggest plays was from Aaron Rodgers, where late in the second quarter before halftime started, Aaron Rodgers threw a Hail Mary to Allen Lazard for 52 yards to cut Buffalo's lead to 3. And meanwhile, in the second half, not a lot happened in this game. And the Jets should fire their kicker. They should. He missed multiple field goals in the second half that would have won them the game. And the game pretty much ended when Aaron Rodgers got picked off right as the 2-minute warning happened, which gave Buffalo the win. But honestly, both quarterbacks did really well. Josh Allen, 19 for 25, 215 yards, and 2 TDs. Aaron Rodgers had 23 for 35, 294 yards, 2 touchdowns, and only 1 interception. Even though the interception wasn't Aaron Rodgers' fault, considering that Mike Williams literally tripped while he was trying to catch it, which resulted in an interception. So I'm going to cut him some slack. And Rodgers did really well in this game. So he deserves credit. And yeah, honestly, this was another entertaining Monday Night Football game between the Bills and the Jets. So, yeah, that's all I can say about this game. So, good job, Buffalo, and good job for the Jets for putting up a good fight. Except for the kicker. Cut him. Cut the Jets kicker now.